And today we are continuing our talk on imagination and seeing our picture perfect worlds, right? We're seeing a picture perfect world. And when you think about taking a snapshot of your life, you think about those people on Facebook and Instagram that only post the good things in life. They don't post the bad things unless someone dies or, they need prayers or something like that. They don't post when they have a bad hair day. And, I give it to those people because when your hair looks good, right? When the light hits you a certain way, you take a good picture. Because I always think I'm not that photogenic. Every picture that I take, I don't want to post. But when the light hits you right and when you get the right angle, I'm posting that picture, right? But I want you to see your entire life as this perfect picture that you want to have. Not in a phony way, not in a negative way, not in a way where you're pretending, but in a real way. Because the thing is that we all want to live in a perfect world, but the questions of how and why causes the confusion. When people think of having a perfect world, having a perfect existence, having a perfect body, having a perfect relationship, the first question is, why do I want a perfect relationship? Do I even deserve it? And once you realize that you do deserve, and I hope each and every one of you know today that you do deserve a life of perfection, you do deserve a life of peace, the next question is, how do I accomplish it now? What do I do to get myself to a place of perfection? What do I do to get myself to a place of peace, to see a picture perfect world? And so here we are in the month of June. We're halfway through the year. And so we can take a snapshot of all the things that have happened this year. Last year, at the end of the year, we did our Christmas shopping list, and we came into this year with that Christmas shopping list, with those desires, with those hopes, with those dreams. We put that into the burning bowl. Now, halfway through the year, we can look back at the things that we prayed for, the things that we've asked the universe for, the things that we've asked God for, and we can ask ourselves, did I do everything that I could to accomplish my goals? Whatever your goals are, could I have done more? Could I still do more? Because we still have life pulsing through our veins. So that means that we have not failed. We have not reached our goal. We are still able to do the things that we need to do to reach the goal of our lives. But I believe that it is first in taking a snapshot of our lives as we have it now. And they say a picture can say 1,000 words. So as you're taking this picture of every area of your life, your relationships, your friendships, your income, even your church life, right? We know that there is a story behind the pictures, a story behind the life that we're living. We're looking at our emotional capacity, in other words, our feelings, our emotions, as we go through the different things in our life. This, of course, is the month of imagination. So how is our imagination processing these images and these things in our life? We also have to consider our energy level. When we think about the different things in our life, are we inspired by them? Are we motivated by them? And of course, the atmosphere, the people that are around us, the energy of the people that are around us, right? Our surroundings. There are some friendships that work on sarcasm. And I'm not one of those people to have a relationship built on sarcasm, every now and then. But we have to understand that even sarcasm is bringing in energy to our friendships, to our lives that can be a negative energy. And when we ask these questions now, we may ask ourselves also, how do I fit into life? How do I fit into the existence of life? And where do I want to fit in the existence of life in the future? And then, of course, there is the reality in between. So friends, you have to know and allow your imagination to see beauty. You have to allow your imagination to see love. You have to allow your imagination to see fulfillment in your world. But do you actually want perfection in your life? Do you even think that perfection is possible for your body, for your relationships, for your income, right? When you pray, when you affirm the good words into your life, the good words into your body, the good words words into your income and into your relationships? Are you saying these prayers? Are you giving these affirmations into the universe with confidence? Are you coming with the confidence of God? Are you living your affirmations and your prayers, even if you don't see them materializing and manifesting in their world? Are you living like you can see beauty in everything that you see? Are you living like there is a living love energy in everywhere that you go? Are you living as though there is fulfillment, that inner state of your soul of sustained joy, of sustained peace, of every experience, living in this wonderful energy of joy? Friends, you have to remember that it all starts with how you reveal the real energy behind everything in your life, behind every area of your life. Friends, today you have to remember the affirmation of the month. And I always talk about following us on Facebook and Instagram at Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach, but don't forget our website, blackdiamondworldwide.org. We have an affirmation for every month, and this month's affirmation says that my imagination sees beauty, love, and fulfillment in my world. So would you affirm that with me? My imagination sees beauty.
My imagination sees beauty.
My imagination sees love.
My imagination sees love.
My imagination sees fulfillment
My imagination sees fulfillment
in my world.
in my world.
Amen. So today, friends, see the grand connection of your life. Know that nothing is excluded from your imagination. All is fair game in your imagination, right? And that means that your imagination can pick up thoughts of lack as well as thoughts of goodness and plenty. But how have you trained your imagination? Imagination is something that could run away with us. When your imagination runs away in thought, runs off in thought, does it look like a fairy tale or does it look like a horror movie? How have you trained your imagination to see your world? Friends, you have to remember to take good care of your self-image. Not how others see you, how you see yourself. Because others are coming with their own experiences, their own hang-ups, their own doubts, their own fears, their own worries, and projecting that into your self-image. And then we pick it up, and that's how we live. So we have to take good care of our own self-image, of our own self-esteem. And that is why I believe that character development is real success. Because when you have developed your character, you can have no money or all the money and possessions in the world, but it comes with an inner fulfillment. And we as human beings accept different forms of success. And people say, well, I'm praying for success. What level of success is your level of success, right? It can mean owning a business. It can mean having all types of possessions. Or for me, it means having loving people in my world, having supportive friends, having the things that make me happy in our world. When we see people with businesses and possessions, we don't know how they received it. We don't know how they got it. It could be luck. It could be that they were greedy and stole it from somebody else. Or it could be that they inherited it and didn't actually work for it. We do not know. We have to be concerned with our success. There are people that have gained success by evil means, and that is why that is not real success for me, because they always have to look over their shoulder. When they steal from someone else, they have to look over their shoulder to see who's going to steal from them. I look at the wars that are going on. We always pray for the wars at the end of the service, the wars in Ukraine, the wars in Gaza, the wars in the Congo. And what are they fighting for? Land. Land that's going to outlive them. Land that was there before they were born and will still be there once they leave the earth. So what is it all for? It is this warped sense of wanting, this warped sense of greed, that I have to have everything so that people now come to me for what they need. We know that material possessions cannot and should not determine self-worth. It's about how we treat ourselves, because once we treat ourselves good, we treat other people good, because we realize that everyone is an extension of us. Everyone is an extension of God. So we can treat ourselves well, we can treat others well, and deeper than that, we can treat our love well. We can treat joy in our life well. If we have goals and fulfillment in our life, we can treat that well. And we can have kindness for everyone in the world, even with a difference of opinion. You know, I like to talk to people on the internet. My mother says I should have been a lawyer because I'm always, because people have a difference of opinion, but there should be a moral standing there, right? And, you see these people, we all see what's going on. We all have the news. And you see that for a lot of people, cruelty is the point. They just want to be cruel. They just feel so great with being cruel. But can we still show these people kindness? Can we see what is going on in this world, whether it's real news or fake news, whether it's AI or real? Can we be real for ourselves? Can we be real for our existence? Can we live the truth of our existence? Because the thing is that people can only pretend for so long before the whole house of cards starts tumbling down. So it means that we constantly have to take the steps to protect our peace. We have to constantly take the steps to protect the love of God that is within us. Whether we have all the possessions in the world or no possessions at all, is there still peace from within? Friends, when we look at how we're going to unfold perfection in our world, when we look at how we're going to unfold peace in our world, three questions always come up. First of all, if you're looking for perfection, is that really your goal? Or do you feel that perfection is an impossibility, right? I always heard people say growing up, oh, nobody's perfect. Well, now I'm saying speak for yourself. If you think that you are not perfect, that's up to you. I know that I am perfect because God made me perfect. I am perfect in the eyes of God, and that has to be enough. Friends, let that be enough for you, not only for me. Affirm this for yourself, that yes, I am perfect because I am a child of God. Because if you don't believe this, then anything that the world brings to you, you will pick up, because you forget your perfection. You forget your connection to the great and wonderful God. So know that perfection is possible in your world. So if that is your goal, know that it is completely doable. The second question is, are you willing to live your truth? Are you willing to be honest? Because when we lie to ourselves and we lie to the people in our world, now, granted, not everything is everybody's business, but we at least have to be honest with ourselves. We at least have to make apologies where apologies need to be made, and be honest and complete with the situations in our world. And the third thing now is, are you open to everything being a blessing in your world? Everything, the heartbreak, the this, the whatever you are going through, can you be open to seeing it as a blessing in your world? Friends, use your imagination to know that peace is not impossible. Peace is not far-reaching. Peace is where you are. Now, here's the thing. As human beings, we are prone to experiencing thoughts of lack, thoughts of doubt, thoughts of fear, any type of negation, thoughts of sickness, all these things that happen in our mind. And for so many people, especially people who try to live a Christian life, live a motivated life, they don't want to deal with the lack and the doubt and the fear. But friends, I implore you that when these negative thoughts come up, let them be okay. Let them be okay. You have to realize that, okay, this is what I'm experiencing now. This is who I am now. But in an instant, you know that you can allow your imagination to develop into the faith of who you want to be. These thoughts are basic. These thoughts are human. These thoughts are normal to have in our life. And we can't just hide them away and say, oh no, I'm not experiencing it. Oh yes, I am experiencing thoughts of lack, thoughts of doubt, thoughts of fear. That is who I am now, but it's not who I always want to be. Begin to work your faith. Begin to work your imagination. Begin to tell the truth about your present moment, knowing that you are always with God. That your present moment is always looking for your overcoming. It is always looking to reveal the great Spirit of God. It is always looking to unfold something great and wonderful. You can go through the fear. You can see your doubt. You can see your lack. You can see any negation in your world and immediately affirm, you know what? I am better than this. Whatever this is, whatever that is, is, I am better than that. I am better than any fear. I am better than doubt. I am better than negation. Friends, you have to remember that God has made you great. Now it's time for you to catch up to your greatness. Now it's time for you to catch up to living the truth of the God in you, living the truth of God's perfection in you. Friends, be willing to live this truth. Be willing to unfold new truths in your world. Friends, you have to realize that wherever you are, this is where God has positioned you, and so you have to see it perfect. You have to see it perfect first in your imagination and open yourself to the blessing of every moment. And so that is why imagination is a faculty. This is the faculty that we work with in the month of June. The faculty of imagination is represented by the disciple Bartholomew, or Nathaniel, however you say it. I like to say Bartholomew. But the reason why Bartholomew represents imagination is because Jesus saw him in a vision before he actually saw him. And when he saw him, he was sitting under a fig tree. Now, this story, of course, the story of how he met all his disciples can be explained metaphorically, metaphysically. But Jesus saw Bartholomew sitting under a fig tree. In ancient rituals, the fig tree represents cleverness and it represents strategic elevation. Friends, this is what I'm speaking into you right here and right now, knowing that you receive it. That as you use your imagination, as you cultivate your imagination, you know that you are clever, you are smart, you have all of the knowledge that you need for your life's success. You have strategic elevation in your consciousness, in your imagination. And the position of imagination on the body is that third eye, that place on the forehead, right? That place of intuition, that place of spiritual awareness. Friends, know that you have the intuition of God. Know that you have the intuition to have that strategic elevation, that you are not just blowing in the wind, but that you have the smarts, you have the intelligence, you have the intuition to keep on keeping on. You have the intuition to be confident in your success. So friends, let peace start in your imagination. Let perfection start in your imagination. For whatever you're praying for success, whatever you're praying for perfection in your life, whether it's your relationships, your marriages, your friendships, there is perfection there. When you look at your income, your work, your bills, and the bills just keep piling up every time you look, there's another bill, affirm that there is perfection in how you pay the bills, in how the bills are coming to you. When you look at your neighborhood, when you look at this world, when you look at politics, when you look at now the election season, I'm already exhausted from the last election, and now we have new elections now in New Jersey. We're electing a new governor, and in New York, they're electing a new mayor, and they had a debate during this week, and it was like a toddler fest. Who's not cursing out who, and who's not telling off, and who has the secret, secret messages and subliminal messages, and it's all these things, and you start to get annoyed if we can affirm peace. Because at the end of the day, we live in these places. We need to know who these people are, but we also need to bless that as they come into the position, they do what is right for everyone. Friends, today, you have to remember that the Spirit of God is in the flesh. Everyone that we see is the Spirit of God, but let's take it personally. Let's remember that the Spirit of God is in our flesh, and the trick of life is not allowing the flesh to overrun the Spirit. The trick of life is not allowing your doubts, your fears, greed, not allowing loneliness and embarrassment to overrun the Spirit of God. Friends, bring your focus back to the truth of your God. Bring your focus back to the God oneness within you, to the God individuality that is expressing in you. As you make your way to self-discovery, friends, let there be peace in those moments. As you make your way to self-discovery, as you discover more of yourself, more about your emotions, more about your fears and your doubts, and even your success, friends, allow there to be love there. Allow there to be joy there. Allow there to be order in your self-discovery. You have to remember that you were born to be different. And you can either let that play out as weird, or you can let that play out as unique. You know, people have a negative connotation where they hear the word weird. I've been called weird every day of my life, so now I'm comfortable with it. I am not weird, I am unique. I heard someone say years ago that when you're poor, they say you're weird, but when you're rich, they say you're eccentric. I don't know about all that. What I do know is that each and every one of us are rich in spirit. And that has to be enough. Who you are now is enough, and who you're unfolding is even better. So on your way to self-discovery, friends, let there be peace, let there be love, let there be joy, let there be order, so you know that you are always working with God and all is well. So would you affirm this with me? There is peace in my self-discovery. There is love in my self-discovery. There is joy in my self-discovery. There is order in my self-discovery. Amen, amen, amen. So go easy on yourself as you seek to discover your inner self. Go easy on yourself as you seek to unfold your imagination. Understand that in your use to manifest your world, your imagination can also be misused. In the Hindu holy book, the Bhagavad Gita, it cautions of the misuse of imagination, especially when it leads to attachment, when it leads to anxiety, and when it leads to illusionary desires. We have to remember that the cultivation of our imagination is about the positive imagination, not just imaged outcomes in our life, right? We meet someone, we want to get married, and so our imagination goes to the wedding day, to the honeymoon, to the kids that we're gonna have, right? But if the person that we have met that we can fall in love with is not the person in our imagination, we think that there is something wrong. We are not allowing our imagination to see the current moment as wonderful, at the current moment as a blessing for our life. Friends, you have to remember that imagination is more than seeing the future, it's about seeing the present. The cultivation, the true cultivation of imagination is seeing the present moment as a moment of love. It's about maintaining and upholding every present moment as a moment of love. You have to remember that the future will one day be the present, so now you have to build a home for the blessing of your future. Have you built a home of love in your heart for all the blessings that you prayed for? Have you built a home of love in your heart? Have you built a consciousness that is prepared for your good? Friends, today, as your imagination prepares for the unfoldment of your good, your emotions are going to follow. Know that your emotions are stable. You are aware of every emotion that you have. You can identify your triggers and you can heal and bless those triggers. You can have an energy level that is always excited, knowing that you can get excited for your future. You can get excited because you know that everything is a blessing, and therefore your atmosphere changes. Everywhere you go, you come with this energy of love. The thing is that imagination walks a fine line between fantasy and reality. And that is why you see people walking down the street, or you see them in the mental hospital because they can't get their imagination right. We know that imagination, a healthy imagination, is grounded in awareness. Friends, we can do this for ourselves. Ground ourselves in awareness. Ground ourselves in the soul of God. Ground ourselves in our body. We have to know that our intuition only sees truth, but our imagination constructs the reality behind the truth of God. So there is no need to fear tomorrow because you will always be grounded. Know that you are always grounded in life. Your human existence will see the fear, it will see the want, it will see the lack, it will see the negation, and it will take your imagination on the wildest ride that you have ever been on. But friends, today, know that you can cultivate control of your imagination and live in a good way, live in a loving way, no matter how life plays out. Friends, today, let your imagination see a world of love. Know that you are grounded in the reality of love, in God. You are grounded in the reality of success, the reality of peace, the reality of fulfillment. As you look at what you want to have in your life, as you look at everything that you hold sacred in your life, you can look at your triggers, you can look at the things that bring negative thoughts, a negative imagination in your world, and you can change your attitude, you can change your course of thought, you can ground yourself in God's love, God's peace, God's success, and God's fulfillment. So would you affirm with me, my imagination sees a world of love. I am grounded in my reality of love. I am grounded in my reality of success. I am grounded in my reality of peace. And one more, I am grounded in my reality of fulfillment. So it reminds us that only us know the story behind our life, only us, as we take a snapshot of our lives, as we're seeing our world as picture perfect, we know the real story behind every picture, that every experience, every area of our life. It's just like when you look back at Christmas pictures or, old pictures from the past, and you might say, oh, I remember this day, I remember what happened, I remember what happened before that or after. It just brings up things in our imagination that either is a good feeling or a negative feeling. The thing is that imagination can hold us captive. Sometimes people are so engrossed in their imagination that they feel like they're watching a movie of their own life. They allow their imagination to paralyze them in a bad dream, right? And they feel that they cannot change what's going on because it's what they're seeing in their imagination. Friends, today, if we can know that we are gaining a strong cultivation of our imagination. We are not only a spectator in our life, we are the director of our life. We are the one that is seeing our world the way that we want to see it. So friends, today, grab your self-control. Know that you are in total control of your destiny. You are in total control of your existence. You are in total control of your emotions. You are in total control of your fulfillment. And you might look at life, you may look at these snapshots that you're taking of your life and may think that your life has taken some unexpected turns. But you must know that this is your road. This is your walk of life. This is your path. This is your destiny. Now, how will you pave the rest of your life's road? Friends, today, I know that you are paving the rest of the road of your life with bricks of faith, bricks of love, bricks of confidence, bricks of intelligence, knowing that everywhere you go, you are using your God power. You are using this encouraging energy that is God within you, and you can control your destiny, your existence, your emotions, and your fulfillment, and live a life of success. So would you affirm with me, I am in total control of my destiny. I am in total control of my existence. I am in total control of my emotions. One more, I am in total control of my fulfillment. Amen, amen. Our Bible lesson today was taken from 2 Peter chapter 1. Read from verses 16 to 21. In verse 16 it says, we are not following cleverly devised stories about the power and the coming of Jesus Christ the Messiah, but we are eyewitnesses to the majesty of God. Friends, you have to remember that God's promise to you is a promise of abundance for your world, and that promise starts in your imagination. And so every blessing that you have in your life must include the development and the cultivation of your imagination, because that's where it all starts. All of your thoughts, all of your dreams, all of your fantasies, all of your hopes and feelings and emotions, even all of your anger, all of your joy, we have the assurance that we have to pay special attention to how they are developed and how they grow in our imagination. Friends, see that there is elevation in your imagination every day of your life. See that you are always elevating your imagination to see a world of good, to see a world of perfection, that you know that your world is a picture perfect world. So as you see your world, it does not depress you, it does not make you sad, it does not make you sick, it makes you joyous. It makes you motivated because you know who you are as a child of God. You know that your perfection is now a tangible reality and not an unreachable fiction. Your perfection is not an unbelievable fiction. It is a reality that is happening right here and right now. So see that there is elevation in your imagination every day of your life. So would you affirm this last affirmation with me? I bless the elevation of my imagination. My world is picture perfect. See every area of your life, your love relationships, your friendships, your marriages, your income, and affirm with me once more, my world is picture perfect. So friends, now that you have spoken this into your world, now that you have spoken this into your existence, you know that it is not fiction. It is a reality right now. And any time that you can look at your life and take that snapshot, you are seeing a picture perfect world. Thank you so much for listening. I love you, love you, love you. Be blessed.